All right, gang, what is up? Welcome back to the House Brewing Company YouTube channel, where periodically we go through a bunch of exciting beverages that we have in the moment. If you're not familiar with Treehouse, not only do we have a brewery, but we also have a distillery, a coffee roastery, and we make a whole host of non-alcoholic beverages. One of the beers that I'm super excited to talk about today is the 10th anniversary Very Green. If you're a fan of Treehouse and you've been around for a while, you know just how important Very Green is to our ecosystem, and I can't wait to share the thoughts and energy behind this particular beer. But before I do, we're going to talk first about the Treehouse Craft Cocktail Variety Pack. This guy is the product of 3 years of trial and error, 3 years of crafting cocktails, putting them out into the world, getting our feedback from you guys, and then putting together a singular pack that we think would make you the hit of any barbecue this summer. So, one thing that I'm really excited about with this particular pack is that, a lot of these packs you'll get 3 different varieties and 4 of each, or you'll get 4 and 3. This guy, we've taken the arduous step of actually giving you 6 different cocktails, and you get 2 of each. So if you like variety and you want to share many different tastes at the barbecue this summer, this mix pack will enable you to do so. So very quickly, what is inside of this mix pack? Well, I'm going to pull all of them out for you. Tom Collins, Airmail, Paloma, Lena Merida, Concord Club, and the Caddy Cooler. Now, Caddy Cooler is made, of course, with House Vodka. And if you didn't know, this guy actually won double gold in the San Francisco Spirits competition, and it's in the running to win Best in Show out of something like 1,000 vodkas that were submitted to this year's competition. So House Vodka is the real deal, and it is the base for both the Caddy Cooler and the Concord Club. So in each of these delightful mix packs, you will get 2 each of what you see in front of you, and they are all interesting, delicious in their own unique way. Caddy Cooler, iced tea, lemonade, House Vodka, Concord Club, Concord grape juice, actually a little bit of thyme, and House Vodka. That savory note hits just right, and if you're a golfer and you're familiar with the transfusion cocktail, essentially this Concord Club is our rendition of that. Lena Merida mixes lime character with our Casa de Arbol agave-based spirit. It provides a wonderful base for the citrusy lime character that makes this a refreshing summertime beverage, and it's named after the wife of our head distiller. Our Paloma, same thing, agave-based spirit made, fermented, distilled in-house here at Treehouse. Grapefruit character, super refreshing, classic cocktail in the can, tastes phenomenal. I should say all these are made with all natural ingredients. They're made in-house from scratch, and if you think that this is Treehouse's version of a high noon, you would be sorely mistaken. Moving on to the Tom Collins classic lemonade mixed with gin, a little bit of bitterness, a little bit of bright citrus with that really summertime flavor. And last but not least in the mix pack is the unique Airmail cocktail, made with the characters of honey, champagne, and our own richly rum. This guy is a very unique drink that if you haven't had it, I think that it will surprise you with just how delicious it is. So this is the Treehouse Craft Cocktail Mix Variety Pack. We are so excited about it, and we don't think there's anything else like it on the market. And if you haven't tried it, we would almost guarantee that you will not be disappointed. Moving on to something that I want to highlight from our roastery and cold brew program. This is called Sun Shower, and it is our summer seasonal, which is available both in whole beans, which you can buy online and have shipped to you, and cold brew that we do have available here in Charlton, Tewksbury, Sandwich, and Deerfield. This summer blend is a combination of Central and South American coffees that have a very fruit-forward note, such as blood orange with a hint of caramel in the background. Guys, when we think about summer crushable cold brew, we don't think about chocolatey, syrupy cold brew. We think about crushable, juicy, light-bodied cold brew that has mild acidity that's very easy to drink. And so when you get your hands on Sun Shower, that's exactly what you should expect. Moving on to our Perrine Spritz. Look at the color on that. Isn't that fun? It's 2024, kids, and if we're not drinking an Aperol Spritz, we're doing it wrong. Certainly Aperol Spritzes are very popular right now, base of this beverage is our Perrine Aperol, which is a key lime based aperitivo, which has this amazing green color, and it's very unique. So this is in many ways our version of an Aperol spritz made with a digestive bitter that is very unique to our distillery. So it gives it that distinctive green hue. Let's crack a bottle open and talk about how she tastes. When you pour this guy out, and I recommend pouring it over ice, it's got like an ecto green color to it. It's really, really neat. And how cool is that? Hopefully that shows up on camera. It's got wicked citrusy key lime notes. Of course, this is blended with locally grown, fermented, and produced white wine, and then club soda. Very, very simple drink. The flavor profile is pretty potent and pretty challenging. So if you don't like kind of an herbal bitterness and a citrusy punchiness, this drink might not be for you. But if you like a really mildly tart, mildly sweet, refreshing, drying spritz, then the Perrine is probably for you. All right, so moving on to the next distillery-based thing that I want to feature, guys, is a couple of cocktails that we are wicked excited about. First of which is the hopped Bee's Knees cocktail, and the second of which, of course, is the espresso martini. These guys are constructed in advance by us here at Treehouse so that when you get them at home, all you need really is a shaker and a glass to pour your finished product into. What makes our hop Bee's Knees special is that you know a Bee's Knees. It's gin, honey, and lemon. This particular guy contains our Hildegard Hoppy Gin, which is made with Cascade hops. So if you haven't had a hoppy gin yet, what you're going to get in this Bee's Knees that you don't get in others' Bee's Knees is a wonderful, piney, floral, citrusy, aromatic hop note that provides balance to the sweetness of the honey within this cocktail. It's one that raises everybody's eyebrow that tries it, and we haven't met someone who doesn't love it yet. So if you haven't tried it, next time you're at Treehouse, check it out. Second ready to shake that I want to highlight, of course, is the espresso martini. Once again, pretty straightforward, made with our house-made award-winning vodka, and of course, our cola coffee liqueur. We invite you to try this and experiment with it. For those of us here at Treehouse, we've actually found that if you shake it over ice first to make it cold, and then shake it without ice, you'll actually get an incredibly frothy, creamy, amazing, non-cream based espresso martini. These guys are available wherever Treehouse spirits are sold. All right, so we've had our fill of the Treehouse craft cocktail variety pack. We've had a couple of ready to shake cocktails. We wake up and our throat's dry and we have a little bit of a headache. So it's in that circumstance, and of course the circumstance that you just finished maybe running the Treehouse Half Marathon, that you need some hydration. And our LXR series was primarily made for recovery, whether you've had a rough night or a long day on the course. These beverages are pretty straightforward, guys. They have a good amount of sodium chloride. In fact, we've gotten feedback that maybe they're too salty, which is a little confusing because they're supposed to be salty. Salt enables your cells to uptake water, so it's really important that we have a lot of sodium in this drink. The flavors we like a lot. This one happens to be one of my favorites. Tropical punch. I mean, there's a whole litany of things that go into this drink. We've got pineapple, passion fruit, guava, orange, apple, mango, apricot, cherry purees, all within this guy. A little bit of potassium, good amount of sodium, a little bit of magnesium for recovery. I drink one of these every day, guys, and I kid you not, we have a lot of athletes here at the brewery, and certainly a lot of people that need recovery on the weekend. And I've had multiple people come up to me and say, I can't believe how well those LXRs actually work at making me feel better after a hard day or night. All right, up next is a beer that I'm very, very excited about. This is a companion beer to Trail Magic, and in many ways, it's actually quite similar. The only primary difference is that we're using unvarnished water from here in Charlton. We don't adulterate it in any meaningful way. So a lot of lager brewing in 2024 with the ubiquity of information has you adjusting your water in certain ways. And to get the terroir or the character of the local water, we actually did not adulterate the water at all. And then the other primary difference between this beer and Trail Magic is the yeast. And the yeast attenuates a little more, which means that it consumes more of the maltose within the base wort that's created during the brewing process and leaves the beer a little bit drier. So if you're like me and you're a fan of the channel, who's watched me rate 100 beers at this point and pick favorites, I always gravitate toward the beers that have a drier, more crushable aesthetic, and this guy fits the bill to that to a T. So if you really enjoy Trail from Treehouse, this beer is essentially that, but it's a lot drier. Crisp, dry, doughy malts, earthy hops, meander. It's awesome. The next beer that I want to highlight is House Matueka. House Matueka is our American adjunct light lager made with locally grown and malted barley and flaked corn, and then dry hopped with select Matueka from the Upper Moutere in New Zealand. That's a mouthful for a very simple, straightforward 4.3% beer. Alongside Trail Peacherine, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of my favorite beers of 2024 from Treehouse. Matueka is notorious for having a lemon-lime character that comes forward in the flavor profile. And because this beer is so light and because Matueka is such an expressive hop, it really, really, really pops in this beer. And if you haven't had it, I would highly encourage you to do so. Moving on to the second to last beverage that I want to highlight is a pale ale called Little Fresh Peach. The concept behind the Fresh Peach Single IPA and Little Fresh Peach Pale Ale that we've recently released is to try to make the most stone fruit and peach forward beer that we can possibly make without using any peach puree. So we have Peacherine from New Zealand. We have select Citra from the Pacific Northwest that exhibit particular stone fruit character. Same with Nelson Sauvin. And then we coax additional yeast ester out of the ferment to make this beer kind of overwhelmingly stone fruit. And to me, there's a real sorcery and a real magic about taking water, malt, hops, and yeast and legitimately making a beer that tastes like a thing that had no part in making it. And as soon as I opened that, I just got hit with the aroma of stone fruit. If you're not a brewer, I hope you do brew someday and learn how rewarding it can be to coax different flavor profiles, again, from ingredients that have nothing to do with the final outcome. This thing smells like a ripe summer peach. Tastes like it too. You know, here we are, 2024, guys. We've all had certainly our fill of double and triple IPAs. There's just something that has always been so pure and wonderful about a well-made pale ale. And this beer embodies just about everything we know about how to make a tasty one without sacrificing flavor or texture in a beer that's just 5.3% alcohol. And last, but very much and most certainly not least, is Very Green 10th anniversary. It was all the way back in May of 2014 that we brewed Very Green for the first time. I have to tell you, I don't know why it took us like 3 years of green existing to brew a double IPA version of it. But yeah, it wasn't until May of 2014 that we brewed Very Green for the first time. At the time, we were in the corner of the Red Barn in Munson. That period for Treehouse was one of the most explosively important and creative periods in all of our history. So it's no surprise that Double Shot, Haze, and Very Green came out of that energy in that time. I got pretty heartfelt on the description here on the label. We've learned a lot about brewing a beer like this. We've traveled a lot. We've put our hearts and souls into trying to make it everything that it can possibly be. For this 10th anniversary batch, we used Galaxy that was specifically from Tasmania. So if you haven't seen the video where we compare the Tasmanian Galaxy with the Victorian Galaxy, we will link that down below. In addition to that, we picked some particularly juicy Citra that we found at harvest in 2023 from Oregon. And then to really drive home the lemon lime character that's so familiar in Very Green, we added some Matueka. So this construct is quite different from the ordinary, or the classic Very Green, I should say, but it is celebrating the 10th anniversary in a unique way. and honoring that past while, trying to forge a path to the future. So, classic, hazy, not super crazy opaque, but still pretty damn hazy. Treehouse yellow, I would call that. So on the nose, you have that super punchy underripe pineapple, certainly that lemon lime from the Matueka, and the earthy citrus that's very, very familiar with Galaxy. Oh yeah, classic. There's actually some stone fruit coming through. Maybe I've still got that little fresh peach on the palate, but you've got pineapple, you've got stone fruit, pretty drying on the palate, but all things considered, just a wonderful tribute to 10 years of Very Green. All right, gang, that's it for now. Beverages of the Moment. Here we are in June of 2024. We are about to be celebrating 12 years of Treehouse, and we have many more wonderful releases in store for the month of June. Stay tuned, get subscribed, and thank you for watching.